Good morning, everyone. This is the May 15th, 2023 meeting of the Albany Regional Board of Review. This hearing is being held.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
For the record, it's 2024 meeting, May
Oh,
15, 2024. This is
I
Dan
don't know why
Farley,
that's-
Department of State.
My apologies. I'll start over. Good morning. This is the May 15th, 2024 meeting of the Albany Regional Board of Review. This hearing is being held via video conference call, WebEx, at the following location: New York State Department of State, 1 Commerce Plaza, 99 Washington Avenue, conference room 1112, Albany, New York, 12231. The time now is 9:01, and this hearing is officially open. The members of the board are, to my right, Laura Ryder, Jared Behringer, and John Limbeck. And my name is Andy Ellis. Acting chairman from the Department of State is Dan Farley and Chris Jensen. We will now hear the scheduled petitions. When you speak, please address the board and give your name, title, and legal address so that the court reporter can have all the information requested. We will have to stop from time to time to consult with our technical staff. In making comments to the board, please provide a descriptive narrative on matters referring to your exhibits to enable the court reporter to enter these into the record. And we have 3 hearings today. Our first hearing is in the matter of petition 2024-0198. The petitioner is Lansing Engineering. And the nature of the grievance and the relief sought: the petition pertains to the construction of 1 4,400 square foot, 1 6,000 square foot, 1 3,200 square foot, 1 7,200 square foot, 1 8,700 square foot, 4 9,600 square foot, 1 1,200 square foot, 1 2,100 square foot, 1 1,500 square foot self-storage structures, group S1 moderate hazard storage, construction type 2B, non-combustible, unprotected, single story in height. The total area of the structures combined is 72,700 square feet in gross floor area, known as Dominic Drive, Mavy's Cold Storage, located at Dominic Drive, town of Ballston, county of Saratoga, state of New York. The petitioner is seeking relief from 19 NYCRR Part 1225, the Fire Code of New York State, Appendix D, Fire Apparatus Access Road, Section D 104.2, which reads: the facilities have a gross building area of more than 62,000 square feet, shall be provided with 2 separate and approved fire apparatus access roads. The proposed facility is 72,700 square feet gross building area and a single fire apparatus access drive. The petitioner is seeking relief from the requirement that the second fire apparatus access be provided. 19 NYCRR Part 1225, the Fire Code of New York State, Appendix D, Fire Apparatus Access Road, Section D 104.3, which reads that there will be 2 approved fire apparatus access roads required. They shall be placed in a distance apart equal to not less than 1/2 the length of the maximum overall diagonal dimensions of the lot or the area to be served, measured in a straight line between the axes. The proposed facility has a single fire apparatus access drive where 2 remote access roads are required. The petitioner is seeking relief from the requirement to install a second fire access roadway with the required remoteness. And 19 NYCRR Part 1225, the Fire Code of New York State, Section 903.2.9, condition number 5, which reads that all buildings contain a Group S1 occupancy be provided with an automatic sprinkler system. I don't know who's that. Okay. when the building is over 2,500 square feet and is utilized for the storage of upholstered furniture or mattresses. There are 9 proposed non-sprinklered structures within the facility that may be utilized for the storage of upholstery, furniture, and or mattresses, and are more than 2,500 square feet in area. The petitioner is seeking relief from the provided automatic sprinkler systems within the unconditioned, unoccupied storage structure. And at this point, I would like to ask the petitioner to state their case and introduce your name and address.
My name is Jason Dell. I'm a principal engineer with Lansing Engineering. Our address is 2452 State Route 9 in Malta, New York. And I'm here on behalf of the applicant for the Dominic Drive Maybes Cold Storage Project. This aerial photo here just kind of gives you an idea of the lay of the land. We've got New York State Route 67, New York State Route 50. This is the town of Boston, and we've got Dominic Drive that comes off. This is a commercial area. We've got a corporate branch of a bank. We've got Advanced Auto Parts, Dollar General. There's a large Maybes storage facility going in right here, and there's a new apartment complex that was just constructed over here. This is
You may want to move that over because I'm not sure. John, can you see this?
No, but I've got my drawings here.
Okay.
good here. One moment.
Range of the camera is.
Yeah, the cameras. This room is terrible. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
So our project site is about a 7-acre portion of an overall 48-acre portion property. And about the boundary of our project area here is the extent of the uplands. The remainder of the property heading towards the east is wetlands, or at least this portion that wraps around the project is all wet areas. So as stated before, we are here seeking 3 variances from you folks. The first of which would be the lack of sprinklers, or the intent not to have sprinklers. This is intended to be a cold storage facility. I apologize. So it is not intended to be occupied nor heated. The cost to provide a sprinkler system makes it pretty much cost prohibitive. We provided a cost estimate to install a dry system, and that would be in excess of $700,000. And to do a wet system would be even more than that, because we'd have the same components as the dry system, but we'd also have to insulate the building. So the intent here is to have an unoccupied self-storage facility year-round and not to have it heated. So we're seeking relief from having to provide sprinklers in the unoccupied space. The second is the second access road. As you can see, we're coming off of Dominic Drive. We make a turn, and then we have to traverse down to an area down here for the majority of the project site. And believe it or not, from here to our finished floor down in the main area is about 38 feet. So you can see if we had to do a second access road over here, it would basically have to wrap down and through multiple buildings to get down there. So it's really not feasible for the project to have an additional road going down, because as I mentioned before, we've got all these wet areas back here. We can't really push the project any further towards the east. And then lastly, if we were able to provide 2 access roads, we would not meet the remoteness criteria. This property, the longest diagonal, is in excess of 2,200. It's in excess of 2,200 feet. And as you can see, we've only got about 350 feet of frontage. This area appears to have frontage here, but there's actually a narrow sliver of land that belongs to the property on the other side of the street. So those are our 3 variance requests. and happy to answer any questions that you folks may have pertaining to it.
So, this is Andy from the board. So the longer storage buildings, I would assume the 50-foot long, that you're looking for vehicle storage, like campers, boats?
Potentially.
Is that what it is intended?
It's intended to, whatever the space, if folks want to put a car in there, they could. If folks want to just store stuff from the house, they could.
Okay,
So it's not really a regulated storage.
okay.
This is Jared from the board. I saw the letter from the chief from that for no problem with their vehicle access getting down there on the widths or turning radius.
We actually met with the fire department, and we also went back and forth with comments from them. One of the requests that they had was that we put additional hydrants along the access roads. We have a hydrant here, and we also provided a hydrant at the bottom for them. And this is their largest apparatus that you can see traversing the property.
Okay.
So in addition to the fire department's approval, we do have a conditional approval from the town of Ballston, conditioned on receiving the variances from you folks. So they are in full support of the project as well.
Okay. And then, is there a plan for winter months for snow removal? Or has that been discussed, just to clean those roads up to make
Yeah.
sure that's able to be traversed?
That'll absolutely have to happen. We have storage areas around the side,
Okay.
and with other facilities in upstate New York, if it gets to a point, they'll have to physically remove it from the site, truck it out.
And then where are the location of the hydrants on that work? And
There's a hydrant right here, a hydrant right here, and there's another hydrant right on the other side of the road right here.
okay.
So there's 1, 2, 3 hydrants.
This is Laura from the board. Can you tell, what is the approximate distance from that low hydrant to like sort of the farthest buildings, like building 4?
We had to be 450 feet
Okay.
from any hydrant, so we provided the town a diagram with radiuses around, so we're within the 450 feet.
Which would be at the lower area there, because you wouldn't bring from the hydrant up above, you wouldn't traverse that hill, right?
That's
So
correct.
it's from that low one, okay.
This is Andy from the board. So in reference to the quote on the fire sprinkler system, yeah, it says 713,000. Do you have an overall cost or what that percentage would be of the overall cost of the project?
I do not have that available.
Okay. Just if it's an economic burden, it would be nice to know what the overall proposed cost would be referencing this dollar amount. It seems like a lot of money, but maybe in the size of the project, maybe it isn't a lot of money. So,
I mean, they are simple metal buildings, if you're familiar with self-storage buildings, so I would imagine that is a sizable chunk. Granted, there's a lot of earthwork there.
yeah,
However, the economics of adding, another almost $1 million to the construction end of it, to heat it and or use the dry system, really makes that maybe tip towards not being feasible.
okay.
This is Jared from the board. Is it access gate? It'll be like other storage units, like fob or
Yep.
from up in it. Okay.
Yeah, right up in here you can see. And again, it is intended to be unoccupied space.
This is Laura from the board. So if it's gated, how do the firemen get their apparatus in?
There'll be a knots box.
Okay. This is also Laura continuing here. What is building 12? Is that like an office or something? Or
Little maintenance building.
okay.
It's a little
So there's
1,500
a
square
parking spot next to it. Okay. Is there an office? Like how would people, if they wanted to rent here, how would they go about doing that?
There's actually another large, maybe self-storage building that's being constructed, or I think it's done now, right over here.
Okay.
So I believe it's over in that building.
So so there's little.
This is John Limbeck from the board. Is not a technical question, but is your insurance company okay with you guys obtaining these variances?
I can't speak on behalf of Maybes, but I would assume so.
Okay, just curious. Thank you.
This is Laura from the board. I actually have a question for Jared, who's the firefighter in the group here. And have you come across many self-storage areas that are not sprinklered?
So the ones that are cold in the city of Troy that we use, yes, there are, and it's very similar to this. And the office portion is not part of the property, so. The larger buildings that are more interior are sprinklered.
This building next door, I believe, is a 3-story building, if I'm not mistaken, heated.
And so that would bring.
Do we have someone from the town of Boston,
I don't see anybody.
building department or fire department?
They have, is there a?
There
list
is
from the
a-
Boston
There
board?
is
Yeah,
one,
okay.
yep,
Yeah.
there is a,
Yeah, Jeff Stickles provided filled out the questionnaire as
the
well.
questionnaire, yeah.
An approval letter from
Yeah.
Right.
fire department.
And we also have the building inspector, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
their approach said that they supported it.
In favor.
Yeah.
So if we don't have any other questions, you good, John?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay. We'd like to, at this point, go into deliberation. We'd like to go off the record.
All right, just one. We are back on the record.
Okay, we're back from our board deliberation. Upon the application of Jason M. Dell of Lansing Engineering PC, engineer of record for the project at Dominic Drive, Maybes Cold Storage located at Dominic Drive, Town of Ballston, County of Saratoga, State of New York, and upon taking testimony and hearing argument thereon at a duly noted hearing before the Albany Board of Review. This hearing was held in person and via video conference call, WebEx, at the New York State Department of State Conference Room 1112, One Commerce Plaza, 99 Washington Avenue, Albany, New York, on May 15th, 2024. And upon all other papers in this matter, the board makes the following determination. The petition pertains to the construction of one 4,400 square foot, one 6,000 square foot, one 3,200 square foot, one 7,200 square foot, one 8,700 square foot, four 9,600 square foot, one 1,200 square foot, one 2,100 square foot, one 1,500 square foot, self-storage structures, group S1 moderate hazard storage of construction type 2B, non-combustible, unprotected, single story in height. The total area of the structures combined is 72,700 square feet in gross area, known as Dominic Drive Maybes Cold Storage, located at Dominic Drive, Town of Ballston, County of Saratoga, State of New York. The petitioner is seeking relief from 19 NYCRR Part 1225, the Fire Code of New York State, Appendix D, Fire Apparatus Access Road, Section D 104.2, which reads the facilities having a gross building area of more than 62,000 square feet shall be provided with two separate and approved fire apparatus access roads. The proposed facility has a 72,700 square foot gross building area and a single fire apparatus access drive. The petitioner is seeking relief from the requirement that the second fire apparatus access be provided. 19 NYCRR Part 1225, the Fire Code of New York State, Appendix D, Fire Apparatus Access Road, Section D 104.3, which reads that there were two approved fire apparatus access roads are required. there shall be placed a distance apart equal to not less than 1/2 the length of the maximum overall diagonal dimension of the lot or area to be served, measured in a straight line between accesses. The proposed facility has a single fire apparatus access drive where 2 remote access roads are required. Petitioner is seeking relief from the requirement to install a second fire apparatus access road with the required remoteness. 19 NYCRR Part 1225, the Fire Code of New York State, Section 903.2.9, Condition number 5, which reads that all the buildings containing a Group S1 occupancy be provided with an automatic sprinkler system when the building is over 2,500 square feet and is utilized for storage of upholstered furniture and mattresses. There are 9 proposed non-sprinklered structures within the facility that may be utilized for the storage of upholstered furniture and or mattresses and are more than 2,500 square feet in area. The petitioner is seeking relief from the provided automatic fire sprinkler systems within the unconditioned, unoccupied storage structure. Finding of facts. The petition pertains to the requirement to have 2 remote fire apparatus access roads and to sprinkler Group S1 structures over 2,500 square foot in area which stored upholstered furniture and mattresses. Number 2, the petition pertains to the construction of 12 self-serve storage structures, Group S1, moderate hazard storage of construction type 2B, non-combustible, unprotected, single story in height. The total area of the structures combined is 72,700 square feet in gross area, known as Dominic Drive, Mavy's Cold Storage, located at Dominic Drive, Town of Ballston, County of Saratoga, State of New York. The petitioner is seeking relief. Number 3, the petitioner is seeking relief from the requirement of the 2020 Fire Code of New York State, Appendix D, Fire Apparatus Access Road, Section D 104.2, which reads that the facilities having a gross building area of more than 62,000 square feet shall be provided with 2 separate and approved fire apparatus access roads. Proposed facility has 72,700 square feet gross building area and a single fire apparatus access drive. Number 4, the petitioner is seeking relief from the requirement of 2020 Fire Code of New York State, Appendix D, Fire Apparatus Access Road, Section D 104.3, which reads that there where 2 approved fire apparatus access roads are required, they shall be placed a distance apart equal to not less than 1/2 the length of the maximum overall diagonal dimension of the lot or the area to be served, measured in a straight line between accesses. The proposed facility has a single fire apparatus access drive where 2 remote roads are required. Number 5, the petitioner is seeking relief from the requirement of the 2020 Fire Code of New York State, Section 903.2.9, Condition number 5, which reads the building containing Group S1 occupancy be provided with an automatic fire sprinkler system when the building is over 2,500 square feet and is utilized for the storage of upholstered furniture and mattresses. Although there are 12 storage structures proposed within the facility, only 9 of the structures exceed 2,500 square feet. There are 9 proposed non-sprinklered structures within the facility that may be utilized for storage of upholstered furniture and or mattresses and are more than 2,500 square feet in area. Number 6, the petitioner requests that the extension of the water main onto the site and the installation of 2 fire hydrants within the site be considered as alternatives. The addition of the water main and multiple hydrants is above and beyond the minimum code requirement and can be considered as an alternative. Number 7, the petitioner details that a second access road is not feasible due to the topography and limited frontage on Dominic Drive. Number 8, the overall parcel contains federal wetlands. The petitioner has indicated that the proposed entrance is below the 0.10 acre threshold for wetland disturbance. The installation of a second entrance would disturb additional wetlands and exceed the 0.10 acre threshold for coverage under the federal nationwide permit. Number 9, the petitioner details the site will not contain any offices or other such habitable occupied spaces, and the project does not pose a life safety threat. Number 10, the petitioner details that the structures are unconditioned and uninhabitable, and there are no offices or other habitable spaces proposed on site. Number 11, the fire chief of Ballston Spa Fire Department has provided a letter in support of the proposed site plans. Number 12, the town of Ballston code enforcement officer has provided a code enforcement official variance questionnaire and is in favor of granting the requested relief. Conclusion, in the matter requested of the relief, the fire code is stated in New York, section D 104.2, section D 104.3, and section 903.2.9, condition number 5. In accordance with the above findings and based on the information presented and testimony given, the board finds that strict compliance with the provisions of the Uniform Fire Prevention and Building Code would entail practical difficulties, unnecessary hardship, and would otherwise be unwarranted, and would be unwarranted because 1, would be physically or legally impracticable. Number 2, would be unnecessary in light of alternatives, which without the loss of level of safety achieved and intended objective of the code. And granting of the requested variance would not substantially adversely affect the Uniform Code provision for health, safety, and security. Determination, wherefore it is determined that the applicant for the variance of 19 NYCR Part 1225, Section D 104.2, Section D 104.3, and Section 903.2.9, condition number 5 be hereby approved with the following conditions. Number 1, the water main be extended onto the project site and the 2 fire hydrants be installed as detailed on the plans provided. And I'd like to make a motion for negative declaration for a short EAF for the Board of Review. Number 1, that the Board of Review find and determine that the issuance of a variance in petition 2024-0198 will not have the significant environmental impact and will not have a significant adverse effect on any significant fish or wildlife habitat, scenic resource of statewide significance, important agricultural land and area included in the approved local waterfront revitalization program. And number 2, that the Department of State be authorized to sign and deliver on behalf of the Board of Review and the Department of State the State Environmental Quality Review Act short environmental assessment form indicating that no or small impact may occur in response to each question in part 2 of the form, and determining in the part 3 of the form that the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impact. And can I have someone from the board motion? We have Jared Behringer. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Laura Ryder. And I'd like to poll the board, yay or nay. Laura Ryder.
Yay.
Jared Behringer.
Yay.
John Limbeck.
Yay.
And acting chairman Andy Ellis, yay. For the record, let the vote show 5 ayes and 0 nays. Furthermore, this decision is limited to specific building and application before it, and as contained within the petition, and should not be implemented to give implied approval of any general plans or specifications presented in support of this application. This concludes the matter before us. The case is now closed. This decision is limited to the specific building and application before it and contained within the petition, and should not be interpreted to give implied approval of any general plans or specific specifications presented in support of the application. Acting Chairman Andy Ellis and board members Laura Ryder, Jared Behringer, and John Limbeck all concurred. So ordered. I'd like to go off the record.
All right, we are back on the record.
Thank you. And for the record, I'd like to change the order of our hearing. We're going to hear the third case in place of the second case. This hearing is in the matter of petition 2024 0202. The petitioner is SMA Upstate Rentals LLC. Will be our second case. Nature of the grievance and relief sought. The petition pertains to an existing building containing R2 occupancy, 3 stories in height, type 5B wood frame, unprotected construction located at 501 to 503 McClellan Street, City of Schenectady, County of Schenectady, State of New York. Relief is requested from Chapter 61B of the Consolidated Laws of New York, Multiple Resident Law, Article 3, Section 30, cellar ceilings, which states that in every such dwelling 3 stories or more in height, the ceiling and cellar, or the lowest story, if there be no cellar, shall be fire retarded or be equipped with sprinkler system unless such ceiling has already been plastered to the satisfaction of the department. The petitioner requests relief from the requirement that a fire retarded ceiling or sprinkler system be provided in the cellar of the dwelling. And at this point, I'd like the petitioner to state their case and state your name and legal address, please.
Good morning, folks. How are you?
Good morning, Dan.
My name is Dan Morelli of Morelli Design and Construction with an office located at 143 J Street in Schenectady, New York. And I'm representing S&A Upstate Rentals, LLC, and their request for relief from New York State MRL Law, Section 30 cellar ceilings, which requires cellar ceilings in dwellings 3 stories in height or more to be fire retardant. The pre-existing multifamily residence, which is located at 501-503 McClellan Street in the city and county of Schenectady, state of New York, is a 3-story structure with a full basement, currently has 7 residential dwelling units, and was constructed circa 1901 with an R2 occupancy classification and listed as a 5B type construction. The first floor level has 1 studio apartment and 2 2-bedroom apartments. The second and third floor levels each have 2 1- and 2-bedroom apartments. The building, each floor is about 1,500 square feet for a total of 6,000 square feet in total. Each individual dwelling unit is finished with plaster or drywall ceilings and currently has, at the time of my initial inspection, existing UL approved interconnected hardwired combination smoke and carbon monoxide detectors at designated locations, including at each floor level, common areas such as hallways and stairwells, and in each dwelling unit, as well as UL approved interconnected hardwire smoke detectors within 12 inches of each entry inside each bedroom as required per code. Each dwelling unit also currently has multiple code compliant means of egress as defined by the MRL law. The homeowner and their agent have agreed to have the existing UL approved interconnected hardwired systems tested by an independent inspection agency and file a report with the City of Schenectady Code Enforcement Office on a yearly basis. The homeowner has also agreed to provide self-closing devices on all entrance doors to common areas in each dwelling unit as required per code, in addition to the many self-closing devices that are already in place. The exterior entry to the full basement is at street level, off the side street. The basement is unfinished and has no sprinkler system and currently has, at the time of my initial inspection, 2 existing UL-approved interconnected hardwired combination smoke and carbon monoxide detectors at designated locations as required per code. The homeowner and their agent have agreed to replace the non-compliant entry door to the basement, which is now just a wood door with a keypad lockbox, with a fire-rated door with a self-closing device. At present, the only thing in the basement, there's no storage of any kind in the basement, but there is a high-tech security system stored in the basement that monitors the property. The applicant is seeking relief from New York State MRL Section 30 cellar ceilings based on the following findings of fact. The structure has been inspected yearly in recent years for compliance with the 2020 New York State Building Code by the City of Schenectady Code Enforcement Office for the issuance of rental certificates, and the proposed actions as stated above are alternate solutions without a loss in the level of safety to achieve the intended objective to the code. Installing a fire retardant ceiling in the unfinished common areas of pre-existing basement or installing a sprinkler system would create an excessive and unreasonable economic burden on the property owner and their tenants simply due to the high cost of performing these tasks, as well as the MEP obstructions, i.e. HVAC ductwork, plumbing piping, gas piping. That are presently exposed in the basement ceiling, therefore making the installation physically impracticable. The alternate measure to achieve the intended objective is the presence of UL-rated, interconnected, hardwired, code-compliant combination smoke and carbon monoxide detectors at designated locations, as well as installing self-closing devices on all remaining doors that require them. In addition to replacing the basement door with a fire-rated door with a self-closer. Based on the information provided in this testimony and the attached supporting documentation that we sent in earlier, the applicant respectfully requests relief from New York State MRL Section 30 cellar ceilings. Are there any questions for me?
This is Jared from the board.
Hi, Jared.
How are you? Do you have a price or what it would cost to do any of the upgrades to a sprinkler system or anything like that?
I don't have a price physically, but I know that the applicant is from New York City and has installed systems throughout his other properties, and they are in excess of $10,000 to $12,000 upstate. He did not provide me with any documentation on this particular building.
Okay.
This is Laura from the board.
Hi, Laura.
So I know you went through where there are detectors and what's connected to what, but you kind of went through it a little too fast for me, so can I just just go floor by floor? So in the basement, we have 2 detectors,
Correct.
and what are they connected to?
They are interconnected to one another and all the other devices in the building.
Okay. And then there are, on the other floors, you said there's detection in all the hallways, stairways, common areas,
Correct.
as well as within the units.
Correct. There's one in each
Okay.
unit, in all the common hallways, stairwells, and entryways.
So do the apartments, so you said there's one detector in the unit that's connected to this building-wide system. Do the apartments also have detection like in each bedroom and outside of each bedroom as
Yes.
required by
So
code?
in each apartment unit, there's one combination smoke carbon detector in a common location within 15 feet of the bedrooms. And then each bedroom has a hardwired device interconnected to everything, and it's just a smoke detector. So each bedroom has a smoke detector, and each unit itself has a combination carbon smoke within 15 feet of the bedrooms.
Okay, so is the interconnectedness such that, like, if a bedroom detector went off, is that just within the apartment, or does the whole building go off? Or does it have to be that the detector that comes, like, that's not in the bedroom has to go off first? Or like, I guess what's the level of connection there?
Understood. So if one detector goes off anywhere within the building, whether it's smoke or carbon, every detector in the building goes off.
Okay. All right, so the entire thing is hardwired?
The entire building is hardwired.
Okay.
This is Jared from the board. They talked about an interconnected, a basement door that is not currently self-closing. Does that go into a common hallway? I'm just trying to figure out the layout.
No, it's
That's
a
the
very
exterior.
strange layout, actually. So off the side street, you'll see it in one of the photographs that I sent in. It's
Yes.
a door with a wood door with a lockbox. If you open
Yeah.
that door,
Yep.
it just goes into a big wide open room.
Okay.
We'll call a basement, although it's at grade level at that location. Grade does incline, so there's actually a floor above it. So that door opens and goes into a big wide open room, basically a basement, an unfinished basement.
Okay. And that's the only entrance in and out of the basement?
That's the only entrance in and out of the basement, correct?
Okay. And there's no laundry, nothing done in that basement? Nothing like that?
Nothing.
Correct?
No, just a security system for the property.
Okay.
In some of these photos, this is unrelated to the alarm system, but in some of these photos, there's this like PVC duct
Yes,
that's running
goes
up
in
the whole
hallways.
entire wall. What is that? Is that a dryer duct?
They are, some are dryer ducts, yes, they are, actually, ventilation ducts for dryer and bathroom ventilation, and they run through the hallways and directly out the side of the building.
So has anybody looked at this for length of distance to the outside and penetration through fire rated walls or kinks in the system that looks like a fire hazard to me?
Yeah, they are caulked and sealed at the penetrations to the units. I didn't, to be honest with you, I didn't take a look at see where they go through the exterior walls. I know they do go, but I didn't take a close look at that, so I don't remember. But they are sealed at the units.
How many feet they run?
Dan, this is Andy from the board.
Hi, Andy.
Hi. So maybe you answered this already, but can you give an idea of secondary egress out of anything above the first floor?
I can, sure.
Is there two set of stairs?
There are, yes. So there's a front entry, and that goes to a common hallway and up a set of stairs that services all the units. And on the back, there's two doors. You'll see a set of concrete steps on one of the photographs. The door on the left is similar. It goes into a common hallway that leads to all the units via a set of stairs. The door on the right is simply just for a very small studio apartment.
Okay. Thank you.
So, and on like is it a third floor? There's a third floor that's
There is a
occupied too?
third floor, yes.
So is it two apartments per floor? Or
It's,
one?
the third floor has two units, the second floor has 2 units.
Okay.
The first floor has 2 units plus 1 studio.
Okay, and so both units have access to both the front and the rear stairs?
Correct.
John, do you have any questions?
No, all my questions have been answered. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other board members have questions?
No.
Do we have a building code official from the city of Schenectady? No? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, this is Dan Farley with the Department of State. It looks like Kevin is online, and he is from the city of Schenectady. I'm just not sure if he's present at the moment. I see he's logged in, though.
Right, okay.
Yeah, he's for the other case.
Okay.
He doesn't have the material for this case.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay. So at this
Folks,
time,
if I may intervene just briefly,
Go ahead.
I believe Mary Lou Padone, the code enforcement officer, did fill out the questionnaire and send it back in favor of.
She did.
Yep. Okay, thank you, Dan. At this time, the board would like to go into deliberation. We'd like to go off the record.
All right. We are back on the record.
Okay. Upon the application to S&A Rentals LLC, and upon taking testimony and hearing argument thereon at a duly noted hearing before the Capital Region Albany Board
Excuse me,
of
Mr.
Review.
Chairman.
Yes.
This is Dan Farley. John, I think you're still in the hearing. You're in the deliberation room with your mic on. You got to turn that off. John Lindbeck. In the deliberation room, you have to turn your microphone off. It's echoing.
His mic is off in the deliberation
Okay,
room.
it is now. Thank you. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. All right, we'll start at the top. Upon the application to S&A Rentals LLC and upon taking testimony and hearing argument thereon at a duly noted hearing before the Capital Region Albany Board of Review. This hearing was held via video conference call, WebEx, at the following location: 1 Commerce Plaza, 99 Washington Avenue, Conference Room 1112, Albany, New York, on May 15th, 2024, and upon all other papers in this matter, the board makes the following determination. Nature of grievance and relief sought. The petition pertains to an existing building containing an R2 occupancy, 3 stories in height, of type 5B wood frame unprotected construction located at 501 to 503 McClellan Street, City of Schenectady, County of Schenectady, State of New York. Relief is requested from Chapter 61B of the Consolidated Laws of New York, Multiple Resident Law, Article 3, Section 30, cellar ceilings, which states that in every such dwelling 3 stories or more in height, the ceiling of the cellar or the lowest story, if there be no cellar, shall be fire retarded or be equipped with a fire sprinkler system, unless such ceiling has already been plastered to the satisfaction of the department. The petitioner requests relief from the requirement that the fire retarded ceiling or sprinkler system be provided in the cellar or the dwelling. Finding of facts. Number 1, the building that is the subject of the petition is properly classified under Chapter 61B of the Consolidated Laws of New York, Multiple Residence Law, Article 1, Section 433, as a multiple dwelling. Number 2, the subject building is approximately 6,000 feet in gross area, contains 7 dwelling units, and was originally constructed in 1901. Number 3, the subject building is required to conform with the provisions of Article 3 of the Multiple Residence Law as provided in Section 25, in that it existed on July 1st, 1952, or was converted to a multiple dwelling after July 1st, 1952, and is not a hotel or similar dwelling subject to Article 4 of the Multiple Residence Law. Number 4, the subject building is required to conform with the provisions of Article 3 of the Multiple Residence Law as provided in Section 25, in that it existed on July 1st, 1952, or it was converted to a multiple dwelling after July 1st, 1952, and is not a hotel or similar dwelling subject to Article 4 of the Multiple Residence Law. Number 5, Article 3, Section 30, the Multiple Residence Law requires that in every such dwelling 3 stories or more in height, this ceiling of the cellar or the lowest story, if there be no cellar, shall be fire retarded or be equipped with a sprinkler system unless such ceiling has already been plastered to the satisfaction of the department. Number 6, the lowest story cellar ceiling of this multiple family dwelling is not enclosed with a fire retarded material and does not contain a sprinkler system. a fire in the cellar could easily spread throughout the building before it is noticed. There is a mechanical system piping and electrical wiring along the ceiling of this unoccupied cellar, which would make the installation of fire retardant ceiling very difficult. Number 7, as an alternative to compliance with Article 3, Section 30 of the Multiple Residence Law, the applicant has installed a hardwired interconnected smoke and carbon monoxide detection alarm system interconnected from the basement to each unit and would provide early warning in the event of a fire-related emergency. Number 8, the door to the basement may be fire rated, but is not self-closing. Number 9, the petitioner states that the basement door is at street level and no additional access is provided within the building. Number 10, petitioner states that there is no storage or laundry facilities in the basement area. Number 11, the board would like to make a note that in the pictures provided by the petitioner, there is concern about proper operation of smoke detectors within the hallways with possible interference from flexible ductwork. In addition, the board recommends that the building inspector evaluate the existing flexible ductwork for code compliance. Number 12, the code enforcement official for the city of Schenectady was not present during the hearing but verbalized support for the variance. Conclusion of law, the proposed variance will not substantially adversely affect the law's provision for health, safety, and security. Strict compliance would entail practical difficulties, unnecessary hardship, or would otherwise be unwarranted because such would be unnecessary in light of alternatives, which, without the level of safety, achieve the intended objective of the law. Determination. Wherefore, it is determined that the application of the variance from Chapter 61B of the Consolidated Laws of New York, Multiple Residence Law, Article 3, Section 30B, and is hereby granted of the following conditions. Number 1, that the interconnected wireless or hardwired smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are provided and located throughout the building as required by current code. Number 2, that the property owner shall hire a third-party independent certified inspection agency to test the alarm system annually at a minimum and shall submit inspections result to the City of Schenectady Building Department. Inspection reports shall also be left on site and be readily available for inspection. Number 3, that all the alarms shall be interconnected together in conformance with NFPA 72. Number 4, that any entrance door and every door opening into entrance hall, stair hall, or other public hall connected therein shall be self-closing. And a motion for negative declaration for EF for the Board of Review. Number 1, that the Board of Review find and determine that the issuance of a variance in petition 2024-0202 will not have a significant environmental impact and will not have a significant adverse effect on any significant fish or wildlife habitat, scenic resource of statewide significance, important agricultural land, or an area included in an approved local waterfront revitalization program. And number 2, that the Department of State be authorized to sign and deliver on behalf of the Board of Review and the Department of State, A, the Environmental Quality Review Act Short Environmental Assessment Form, indicating that no or small impact may occur in response to each question in Part 2 of the form, and determining in Part 3 of the form that the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental. Do I have a motion from the board?
This is Laura, I'll make the motion.
Ms. Laura Ryder, do I have a second?
This is Jared, I'll second.
Jared Berenger, second. And I'd like to poll the board members, yay or nay. Laura Ryder?
Yay.
Jared Berenger?
Yay.
John Limbeck?
Yay.
And Acting Chairman Andy Ellis, yay. And for the record, let the vote show 5 ayes and 0 nays. Furthermore, this decision is limited to the specific building in the application before it. as contained within the petition and should not be interpreted to give implied approval of any general plans or specifications presented in support of this application. This concludes the matter before us, and this case is now closed. Acting Chairman Andy Ellis and members Laura Ryder, Jared Berenger, and John Lindbeck concur. So ordered. Like to go off the record? Thank you.
We are back on the record.
And for the record, we are hearing our third hearing, which was originally our second. This hearing is in the matter of petition 2024-0077. The petitioner is Fubar LLC.
Sir, prior to beginning, could we please receive the meeting number so I can chime in my property maintenance tech if there are any questions pertaining to the property that I'm not able to respond to or answer?
Yes, you
Yep.
ready? Do you have a pen?
I do.
All right, it's 161
Yep.
903 5131.
19199035131.
No, 161
Mm-hmm.
903
Mm-hmm.
5131.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, nature of grievance and relief sought. The petition pertains to an existing building containing an R2 occupancy, 3 stories in height of type 5B wood framed unprotected construction located at 1616 Rugby Road, City of Schenectady, County of Schenectady, State of New York. Relief is requested from Chapter 61B of the Consolidated Laws of New York, Multiple Residence Law, Article 3, Section 30, cellar ceilings, which states that in every such dwelling 3 stories or more in height, the ceiling of the cellar, the lowest story, if there be no cellar, shall be fire retarded or be equipped with a sprinkler system unless such ceiling has already been plastered to the satisfaction of the department. The petitioner requests relief from the requirement that the fire retarded ceilings or sprinkler system be provided in the cellar of the dwelling. And at this point, I'd like to ask the petitioner to state their case. Please state your name and your legal address before addressing the board.
Legal name, Tatiana Lepanova. Address is 2800 Diablo Court, Pflugerville, Texas, 78660.
And the board would request that you state your case.
Yes, we are petitioning for a fire rent per the inspection requests. We received an inspection from Kevin Penzerash, and he had requested that we apply for a fire rent, and that the previous owner had not done so. So we wanted to make a move on this.
This is Jared from the board. Can you tell me the number of units that you have in that building?
Total of 3 units.
It's 1 per floor,
Yes, sir.
and then 2 means of egress, a front and back stairwell.
Yes.
Okay, and then where's access to the basement? Is there a front and back access, or is it in the rear?
It's from the front.
From the front, hallway, stairwell?
I believe so.
Okay.
Kevin, please confirm if you're on.
Yeah, he might not be.
This is Andy from the board. Is there a second set of stairs or secondary egress for the units above the first floor?
Yes, so there's staircase in the front of the building and there's a staircase in the back. So every tenant has access to the front and back, so two entrances into the unit from the front and the back.
In the back stairwell, does that lead to the exterior or is it the hallway on the first floor?
Sorry, could you please repeat that, please?
The back set of stairs to the units, does that lead to the exterior or is it a combination to the first floor hallway?
No, it's a completely separate exit to the back of the
Okay.
back. They're not connected whatsoever.
Okay.
What type of fire alarm system is in there?
I believe it's stated in the application. I'd have to look back. But there's fire alarms, there's smoke detectors, there's carbon monoxide detectors. We have all that in place.
Are they hardwired systems or are they?
Yes.
This is Andy from the board. Do the tenants have access to the basement? Is there
They-
storage in
but
the basement?
No, we don't allow storage in the basement.
This is Laura on the board. Is there laundry facilities in the basement? Like, do the tenants have any reason to go down there?
No.
This is John Limbeck from the board. The door to the basement, it was initially asked if it was interior or exterior. You said it was at the front of the building. Is it inside the building or is it outside?
All right, just realized I was muted. It's inside the building on the first floor so in the first floor, there's an entry point inside the building, entry through the hallway downstairs. So on
Okay.
the first floor, when you enter the staircase or after the staircase on the left side, under the staircase on the first floor.
Okay. Is the door to the basement self-closing and is it fire rated?
Fire rated currently, no, I don't believe so.
Okay, so it's not fire rated and it's not self-closing.
I have to confirm self-closing.
Okay. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions?
So this is Laura on board. So just, I guess my question is just back to the interconnectedness of things. So if there there smoke detectors in the basement, at the basement level ceiling?
I'm confirming that now. I'm just getting back. My property maintenance tech is just responding to me. I just want to respond to your question regarding the door. It is not self-closing. It closes with a latch lock. But we can adjust that if we need to.
Okay.
The smoke detectors are not hardwired. Sorry, they are hardwired. Just confirming that. Sorry, your question was, Barbara, I apologize.
Are there smoke detectors? So there are smoke detectors in the basement. And they are connected to, I guess I'm just trying to get the lay of the land on each floor. So where are the smoke detectors on each floor? And is every single smoke detection device connected to each other? Or is there like a separate common system and then separate systems within each apartment?
Just confirming that. There's smoke detectors in the basement. We have smoke detectors on every single unit. In fact, I actually wish Kevin could chime in here because he had completed the inspection. The only thing that he approved everything except for just the fire application. So I wish he could chime in here, confirm some of these details. But every unit has a smoke detector. He approved everything in the building in terms of the smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors. So that's all, that's all there. And the fire, it looks like the basement is fire rated. Fire rated to code, yes. Sorry, I mentioned no earlier. It is fire rated.
But the door,
The door.
yeah,
Okay.
the door is based.
The basement, you asked if it's fire rated, yes. The door
Yes.
closes with a latch. We can adjust that to make it self-closing if we need to, though. That's not a problem.
Right.
That can be a requirement.
Do we have a building inspector from the city of Schenectady on?
There's two.
He's the current city inspector is Kevin Hansresh, but he's not responding. Seems like he's not. Maybe he's walked away from his phone or computer. Kevin, are you on currently?
We do have the code enforcement official questionnaire in support of the requested variance. Do we have any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay. That's good. All right, at this point, I'd like the board to go into deliberation. We'd like to go off the record.
All right, we are back on the record.
Okay, the board is returning from deliberation, and we would like to ask the petitioner if it is possible that we can have the property manager call in to answer some of our questions. At this point, we don't have enough information to make a determination on the case. And maybe the board would like to give the petitioner an option to for us to grab more information about the building.
I just reached out to my property maintenance tech. I'm waiting to hear back to see. He's currently in the field, so it's a bit hard for him to join. I'm just waiting for him to respond now. But if there's no way for him to join, is there a way we can get your answers or questions answered via email or a separate phone call at a later date?
We have an option of adjourning the case, and you can provide the board with additional information. The case would be moved to our July meeting.
Okay.
If that is something that you're willing to do.
And then I'll have him, so I would have to have him join on that date. Is that correct?
Well,
Go ahead.
and this is Jared from the board. Or provide information, just more of layouts. What we're looking for is what smoke detector systems are interconnected and which ones, if something were to trigger in the basement, does that have a notification system in all three apartments? Just kind of a layout of that building, just to, and we understand that you're not located where that building is. So that
Yeah,
we can
and-
have a better layout and if that information can be provided.
Absolutely. And you know, the thing is, it's unfortunate. The inspector was on this call right now. He can answer those questions very easily. I just don't know why, what happened. Kevin has done the inspection. He knows the layout well. I'm not sure why he's not responding. So perhaps I can have, we can adjourn it, if requested, and I could have both of them make sure that they're both present on the call, and they can answer those questions together. Because I don't
Okay.
think, I mean, I'm going to give it another minute or two, but I think that I don't think that my property needs an insect. Yeah, he's on the roof right now. He's currently in this field, so he's not going to be able to join the call. But we can certainly adjourn it, and I can request that both be on and present and able to respond to questions. I apologize for the
Yes.
delay.
That's all right. That would be helpful to have somebody familiar with the building on the call with us.
Of course. So we can go ahead and adjourn it for a later date. I appreciate your time.
Okay. Let me go back to my email.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, this is
Yes.
Dan Farley, the Department of State.
Yep.
I just spoke with somebody in the city of Schenectady and asked them to please get a hold of Kevin and see if he can answer some of your questions.
Okay.
So if you could just give it a minute or so to see if he logs back in.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm gonna send you that link.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I heard back from the city of Schenectady. They have spoken with Kevin and he's going to try to log in using his phone.
Okay.
He's actually remotely in the field right now.
Okay.
If he has issues doing that, he's going to call me and I'll try to put him on speakerphone and see if we can do it that way.
Thank you.
Okay, I just spoke with him and he is now trying to log in. He's gonna try to call in. This is Dan Farley with the Department of State.
Thank you.
This is Dan Farley, Department of State. Kevin, is that you online?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, for joining us. The board has additional questions about the layout of the building and some of the functionality of the smoke and carbon monoxide system. Does the board have questions for him?
Okay.
Can,
This is Laura on the board. Yeah, basically, we just want to know what's interconnected with what. So, is every device in the entire building connected to each other?
No, each apartment got their own interconnected.
Okay. So are there already smoke detectors in the basement though?
Yes, there is.
So when the smoke detector goes off in the basement, what enunciates upstairs? Anything?
Yeah, the entire building goes off. But so there's each apartment has their own smoke and carbon hardwired in the basement, and they're all interconnected within the building.
Okay. So if a smoke detector went off in one of the apartments, it would also enunciate within the entire building.
Correct.
It would notify everywhere. So basically, everything is interconnected then.
Yes.
So there's no separate system that's like isolated in each unit.
No.
Any device anywhere in the building will set off all the other devices.
Correct.
It's completely interconnected. Okay, that's what we were trying to establish.
Yes.
Okay, and just confirming, I think we were confirming that it is hardwired, or is it
Yes,
battery
it is
operated?
hardwired.
It is hardwired. Okay.
Hardwired.
Okay.
Kevin, this is John Limbeck. The door to the basement, we understand, is inside the building.
Yes.
And is that door fire rated and is it self-closing?
It is not self-closing and is not fire rated.
Okay, thank you. And Kevin, this is John Limbeck again. We understood from the applicant that there are two stairwells, one in the front and one in the back. The back stairwell exits directly outside.
Yes. Well, not directly outside. There is another door to get outside.
Okay, all right. And are you in support of issuing this variance?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
One more question from Laura on the board. Are the doors between the apartments and both the front and rear stairs, do they have self-closers on them?
No.
Okay. Are they fire rated doors? Did we just lose him?
I'm here. Sorry.
Did you hear my question?
No, I didn't.
I'm asking if the doors between the apartments and the stairwells, front and back, are fire rated.
No, they're not fire rated.
Okay, so they're not fire rated and they have no closer.
Correct.
Okay.
Those are all the questions I had, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Me too. I'm good.
Would we like to go back into deliberation?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you for answering our questions. The board would now like to go into deliberation for a few minutes and go off the record.
All right, we are back on the record.
Okay. Upon the application of Food Bar LLC and upon taking testimony and hearing argument thereon at a duly noted hearing before the Capital Region Albany Board of Review, this hearing was held via video conference call WebEx at the following location: 1 Commerce Plaza, 99 Washington Avenue, Conference Room 1112, Albany, New York, on May 15, 2024. And upon all of the papers in this matter, the board makes the following determination. Nature of the grievance and relief sought. The petition pertains to an existing building containing an R2 occupancy, 3 stories in height, of type 5B wood frame unprotected construction located at 1616 Rugby Road, City of Schenectady, County of Schenectady, and State of New York. Relief is requested from Chapter 61B of the Consolidated Laws of New York, Multiple Resident Law, Article 3, Section 30, cellar ceilings, which states that in every such dwelling 3 stories or more in height, the ceiling of the cellar or the lowest story, if there be no cellar, shall be fire retarded or be equipped with a sprinkler system unless such ceiling has already been plastered to the satisfaction of the department. The petitioner requests relief from the requirement that a fire retarded ceiling or sprinkler system be provided in the cellar of the dwelling. Finding of the facts. Number 1, the building that is the subject of this petition is properly classified under 61B of the Consolidated Laws of New York, Multiple Resident Law, Article 1, Section 433, as a multiple dwelling. Number 2, the subject building is approximately 2,359 square feet in gross area, contains 3 dwelling units, and was originally constructed in 1920. Number 3, the subject building is required to conform with the provisions of Article 3 of the Multiple Residence Law as provided in Section 25, in that it existed on July 1st, 1952, or was converted to a multiple dwelling after July 1st, 1952, and is not a hotel or similar dwelling subject to Article 4 of the Multiple Residence Law. Number 4, the subject building is required to conform with the provisions of Article 3 of the Multiple Residence Law as provided in Section 25, in that it existed on July 1st, 1952, or was converted to a multiple dwelling after July 1st, 1952, and is not a hotel or similar dwelling subject to Article 4 of the Multiple Residence Law. Number 5, Article 3, Section 30 of the Multiple Residence Law requires in every such dwelling 3 stories or more in height, the ceiling of the cellar or the lowest story, if there be no cellar, shall be fire retarded or be equipped with a sprinkler system unless such ceiling has already been plastered to the satisfaction of the department. Number 6, the lowest story cellar ceiling of this multiple family dwelling is not enclosed with a fire retardant material and does not contain a sprinkler system. A fire in the cellar could easily spread throughout the building before it is noticed. There is a mechanical system piping and electrical wiring along the ceiling of this unoccupied cellar, which would make installing a fire retardant ceiling very difficult. Number 7, as an alternative to compliance with Article 3, Section 30 of the Multiple Residence Law, the applicant has installed a hardwired interconnected smoke and carbon monoxide detection system interconnected from the basement to each unit individually and would provide early warning in the event of a fire-related emergency. Number 8, the door to the basement is not fire-rated or self-closing. Number 9, the code enforcement official for the city of Schenectady was present during the hearing and verbalized his support for the variance. Conclusion. The proposed variance will not substantially adversely affect the law's provision for health, safety, and security. Strict compliance would entail practical difficulties, unnecessary hardship, or would otherwise be unwarranted because such would be unnecessary in light of alternatives without the loss in the levels of safety achieved in the intended objective of the law. Wherefore, it is determined that the application for the variance from Chapter 61B of the Consolidated Laws of New York Multiple Residence Law, Article 3, Section 30B, and is hereby granted with the following conditions. Number 1, that the interconnected wireless or hardwired smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are provided and located throughout the building as required by current code. Number 2, that the property owner shall hire a third-party independent code-certified inspection agency to test the alarm system annually at a minimum and shall submit inspection results to the City of Schenectady Building Department. Inspection reports shall also be left on site and be readily available for inspection. Number 3, that all the alarms shall be interconnected together in conformance with NFPA 72. Number 4, that any entrance door and every door opening into any entrance hall, stair hall, or other public hall connected there within shall be self-closing. Number 5, the door to the basement in the front hallway should be replaced with a fire-rated and self-closing door. Motion for negative declaration for short EAF for the Board of Review. Number 1, that the Board of Review find and determine that the issuance of a variance in petition 2024-0077 will not have a significant environmental impact and will not have a significant adverse effect on any significant fish or wildlife habitat, scenic resource of statewide significant, important agricultural land, or area included in an approved local waterfront revitalization program. And number 2, that the Department of State be authorized to sign and deliver on behalf of the Board of Review and the Department of State, the State Environmental Quality Review Act short environmental assessment form indicating that no or small impact may occur in response to each question in Part 2 of the form, and determining in Part 3 of the form that the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts. May I get a motion from a board member?
Laura will motion.
May I get a second?
Jared will second.
And I'll poll the board members, yea or nay. Laura Ryder,
Yay.
Jared Berenger,
Yay.
John Limbeck,
Yay.
and Acting Chairman Andy Ellis, yea. And for the record, let the vote show 5 yeas and 0 nays. Furthermore, this decision is limited to the specific building and application before it as it contained within the petition and should not be interpreted to give implied approval of any general plans or specifications presented in support of this application. This concludes the matter before us, and this case is now closed. Acting Chairman Andy Ellis and members Laura Ryder, Jared Berenger, and John Limbeck all concur. So ordered. Like to go off the record?